Welcome to Beauty is Eternal, interviews with experts that inspire. I'm your host, Caitlin. Our episode today is called Prima Ballerina Iana Salenko, Behind the Stage Curtains, including motherhood, miscarriages, anorexia, and dancing together with her husband. Iana Salenko is one of the most established and famous ballerinas in the entire world. Born in Kiev, she studied at the Pisarev Ballet School in Donetsk before becoming a principal dancer at the Royal Ballet in Kiev. She is currently a guest artist at the Royal Ballet in London and a principal dancer at the Berlin State Ballet, where she dances in things such as Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, the Nutcracker, Onegin, Romeo and Juliet, and more. She has been dancing at the Berlin State Ballet since 2005. Iana has two sons together with her husband, Marian Walter, who is also a principal dancer of the Berlin State Ballet. Iana lets us deep inside today and talks about her childhood in the Ukraine, how she handled anorexia as well as a miscarriage, how she became a top prima ballerina, why she moved to Germany, what it was like to fall in love with her husband, why they had children when they had them, and what it is like to be both a mother and a ballerina. Iana keeps her Instagram updated, including her latest photos and videos. You can view it at instagram.com/IANA_SALENKO. As our interview was recorded backstage at the Deutsche Oper in Berlin, please excuse any background noise. Thank you for being a guest today, Iana.
You're welcome.
You were born in Kiev.
Yes.
What was your childhood like in Kiev?
Just throwing back my memory, it was a beautiful childhood because I had four brothers and my family was big, and I feel take care of me a lot, like from my mom and from my parents, and mostly I had mostly time with my grandmother spending. So I had a beautiful childhood.
That's great to hear.
Mm-hmm.
And did you do a lot of sports and activities growing up?
Yes, I actually start from 3 years old. Start sport. I loved it, ice skating, and I wanted always when I hear the music, I wanted to dance and just any music, and I was jumping around the room and. And I wanted my mom that she's sewing the dress like a tutu, and I was just splitting and I was running. So I think I was burning to be a dancer. And after ice skating, my mom gave me to gymnastic.
Mm-hmm.
And after gymnastic, I decided, no, I want to dance, I want music, I want soul, and I want expression. So, and then I start with some dancing, like academia. And after this, just keep doing, keep doing something. Yeah.
So even though you started ballet when you were 12, you were doing ice skating and gymnastics before that?
Yes.
So you were already used to using your body to express yourself.
Yes. Yeah, it's true. I think it's the biggest base to build myself to be stronger, and to be stronger dancer, and to be strong in my mind. To try all this kind of dance stuff, like a different style, and sports. It's give me this to be fight for what you want. So I think it was a good beginning.
A good combination.
Yes, good combinations.
And when you started dancing, did you expect that it would be something you'd make a career, or was it just something for fun?
Actually, I wanted just to try it, and then I fell in love with this, and I was so fanatic about this. I'm almost like sleep with my point shoes, and so I was dancing any correction what my teacher gave me. I was 100 times repeating at home, and I want to improve, get better, and I think it's a good age was starting with 12 because I was understand what I want.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you went from starting at age 12 to at 16 taking on principal roles. It sounds like you were driven by a passion for it, like you really wanted to learn, because that's a really fast progression.
Yes, it is. I think it's just because of luck, maybe. And my teacher, she gave me this passion and love to me, and she sent me to Pisarev School. And when I was in the Pisarev School in Donetsk, and by accident, director Pisarev, he said I needed with somebody to dance, and you the perfect one. And I said I just started ballet. I can't to dance now. And then he said, no, I need to have a partner because my wife is pregnant, and I need to dance now. Like don't you? Principal role, and you are the perfect one. So it's by the chance. I was shocked that it's possible, and it's make my big steps to my career. Yeah.
What did your family think of your dancing when they realized it was getting more serious when you went to Donetsk to the dance school?
In beginning, my mom was not with me. She didn't want that I will become the ballet dancer, and she wanted that I study to be doctor or some other serious professional. But I wanted to be artist, and I want to be dancer, and she didn't support me really. But my father was with me, and he gave everything, like he was supporting me more. And when I went to Donetsk, and he was support, and my mom already calmed down, and she said, okay, you will be dancer, and she was already agree with what my choice is. So it's okay, yeah, they was together.
Was Don Quixote the first thing that you performed in a principal role?
Yes, Don Quixote.
Don Quixote.
Don Quixote. Yes, this was my first principal role, and I was 16.
What was your dream role when you were training? What did you think, oh, I would love to perform the principal role of this? What was your...
Was my...
Really?
Yeah, was my dream to dance and first performance and dream part, yeah. Even I was walking by street and watching on the sky, and I'm like, I wish to dance, and then was the stars coming falling down, and then I can't believe it that it will be like this. And after 1 month I got it, and I couldn't believe it, and I thought maybe it's because of star. Yeah, by accident, by everything, luck, it's a wish, and yes, it's possible.
What is your favorite thing to perform now?
Now, because I'm older, and I like to perform some roles to get in the feelings, and to get some roles what have a soul, and to tell story for the people, and to be somebody who not me. And this is more interesting for me to dance, like to be actress. It's more
I was gonna say that sounds theatrical.
Yes, yeah. This is playful because dance, it's the same. It's like acting and to what do you feel, so you give it all your soul.
When you dance to certain songs, do you kind of, if the song is more dramatic, do you start to feel more dramatic? Or if the song's more lighthearted, do you actually feel inside more lighthearted?
It is, yeah, like because every day is different, and every time you listen to music or this, you feel through your body differently, and I think it's you give emotionally body language, and then you expression these emotions. So this is most beautiful because you through your body you give emotion.
What about performing modern ballet versus classical ballet? What's your preference, if you have one?
I would love dance both, but I prefer because it's easier for me classical because I'm always dancing, and for modern pieces, it's for me a challenge to move different and to express myself differently. But for classical, I work for my different style and to make it different ballet, to look different. Hope it's okay.
No, that's perfect. Well, it's interesting because you were classically trained in ballet in the Ukraine. They weren't teaching you modern dance. So your background, probably what is easiest for you is the classical, but the modern is like, well, it's modern, but it's very Berlin, let's say.
Yeah, that is more modern. They love modern Berlin and style, but actually they really love the classical, and you could feel the public and how public comes and different publics. Yeah.
How was it that after you were dancing at the Kiev Royal Ballet?
Yes.
And then after that, you came to Berlin in 2005, and a couple of years later, you became already a principal dancer here in Berlin. Why did you come to Berlin? How did that decision happen?
I wanted away from the Ukraine, and I was just going in this moment to competitions, and I won competition in Vienna, and I met my husband there, and was fallen in love. I'm just everything. I forgot about what I want. I just want to be with him. So. And because I had a really good career in Ukraine, and I had on TV, and people could recognize me outside, so it was really like a dream career would have any dancer. And when I met my husband, and I decided, no, I want to move to him, or not I want, or like I wish to be with him. And he proposed me like immediately after 2 months, because of the situation of the it's hard to move because my visa, and I can't travel so often, and by him it was difficult to come to Kiev. So we decided, and it was like easy propose, like will you marry me? And so it was easy, and I said yes, and so I got married with 21. And that's why I moved in Berlin and start from beginning, because was everything new for me, and direction didn't take me like a principal, took me like a demi-soloist, and I was agree. I just wanted to be with my husband and to build a family style. Like I thought the family is the stronger, and then come the career. What? My thinking thought.
Well, it seems to me, Iana, that you're talented and hardworking enough that you could have made it at any ballet in the world. Berlin. So you didn't come to Berlin because you got offered a principal role. You came because of your husband, and then you just made sure you got a principal role.
Yeah, and during when I was in Berlin, I went again to competition to show the people that who I am, and I was fighting for the. I went with my husband to Helsinki competition and Nagoya without teacher. I was just preparing myself, and I was fighting. I wanted to get a medal, and I got a gold medal in both competition. And when I come back and people like watching me, who are you? We don't see you like this on the studio. You like a... So after they said like, okay, we give you immediately the first role. So when I came to the company, it was immediately first role. I got Cinderella from Vladimir. And after the show, he came to me and he said, you will get the principal. So he was already make me like calm. I did it, my job. So it went all fine.
So it's actually been quite smooth sailing because that was over 10 years ago. So you've actually had a very stable time in Berlin. And in this time, you've had 2 children, 2 sons with your husband, Marian.
Yes.
How was the decision to get pregnant? Did you time it and say, okay, maybe we'll do it between, this is the best time of the year? Was it planned? How did it work out?
Actually, the first child, it was idea my husband, because we was already married like 2 years and was the same working process. And my husband said like, oh, now you get the principal. Let's get now the child, because later you will have no time. So it was the first decision from my husband, and that's why I said, no, it's too early, I'm too young. This was my first reaction, but then I'm like, okay, let's have a baby. And I was 24, so really young and with, experiment. And it's true, it was like you got the child, and I got so much job and so much invitation to other theater, and my career was growing up, and I thought I would, if longer 2 years, I would not decide to have a child, because you have everything and you want to keep still this career. So it was all good timing.
And
the second one, it was planning like a gap. I wanted my child to have 5 years different, and because my family big, like we are 5, 4 brothers, and we have a small gap, and I was always fighting with my brother, and I wanted to give my child like just special love to one, and then second one. So I wanted to have a big gap, and after 5 years we said like, okay, now, and then we see the situation, it's so busy, I'm busy and all stuff, and then we say, no, let's wait 1-2 years, and when already 10 years, and then okay, now, and I try to get pregnant, and I lost. So it was like little bit difficult time for me, when I was like, he was 9 years old, and I got pregnant, and I lost. And then I was all year, it's a bit of depression, so like I was scared that you can't have children, so because so much work, or I don't know, it was in my head. And then the second time trying, and after 1 year, and I got child, so we did it. So second time it was all fine, and here he's already 8 months old, so it's fine. Yeah.
And you mentioned to me that your husband is now staying home with the child?
Yes. He decided he want to have a break, because for the woman who was pregnant, we have a all like year to have my own time and to recognize what you need and for your career, for the life. And for men, or you're injured or something, so he decided like, I want to enjoy this moment when baby is so small and it's so beautiful, and he decided this time to take off for 3 months. not so long.
But still, it's great when the baby is so small.
Yeah.
How do you normally balance children and work? Because Marian is also a dancer here.
Yes.
Do you guys, how do you work out the family work schedule?
It is difficult. It's not easy to have a boss, and it's like a challenge, and to make everyone happy about yourself and about the family. And balance, you have to deal it, you have to organize, you have to make it work. And with the years, with the first child, we learned how to organize with the child, and then now second. So it's like from beginning, it's like refresh the life, and it's possible, and it's just to give a love and to try to see your own child. It's amazing.
So if I were just looking at you from the outside, I would say Iana has had a career that looks like it was ordained by the stars. She made a wish on a falling star. She started something because she was passionate and hardworking, and she's one of the top in the world. Her husband is also top in the world. They have the ideal, the ability to create a work-life balance, because Germany is quite good for raising children, having a career. If I were just looking at you, I'd say you have the perfect life. But there's usually more to this story. What do you think the biggest challenges that you've had to face in your life are that somebody looking at you, they wouldn't expect?
Yeah, I had a difficult time when I started ballet, and I had an injury with my back problem, and my spine was out, like would say, I don't know how to explain. So any doctor where I was visit, and they say you have to stop, you will be in row, like you will be invalid.
Oh.
Yeah, and they say me like it's not will be good, you have to stop, you have to stop. And I just started ballet, and I was passionate for this, and I couldn't believe for 2 months I'm just laying, and I couldn't, like everything destroyed. I thought like I will never start again to walk even. So this was my biggest step out from this pain, from this what you had it. Like you thought you will be, you stop, like your life about, you don't know what to start, and you just started what you love. And second moment break of my life, it was when you get everything, you got everything, and then you, what else, what you have to do it, and you can't enjoy it anymore. So it was my breaking. I think it's every artist has this breakdown when you have everything, and everything so easy, and then you think it's like
what challenges are there?
Yes, no challenges, or so it was a difficult time for me, and I didn't see my life like growing and to not enjoying. So I started searching to help me, like through the movies, through the reading psychology, like what about to make it you happy. So this was step to recognize like happiness and challenges, and to enjoy it today and now, not to plan for the future. So this was breaking up, and then I come back and to just enjoy it, what you have. It's so beautiful, and like so many stuff, and many difficult timing, or when I was pregnant and I missed these performances, and I wished to dance, but I enjoyed to be pregnant. So it was the both, like I miss, I want, and I have it. So it's all the time there, and up and down. And I think it's like in some podcast I was listening one the guy, like it's you have to something break or like to have a pain in your side, then you understand what about like life. So it's you by pain you're learning.
Well, sometimes when you get broken down, when there's a breakdown, then it really forces you to reflect on things, and then you can kind of put them back together and say, actually that doesn't work or that does work. It gives you a chance to see things more clearly.
Yes, it's true.
You mentioned that the doctors told you you can't dance anymore, your spine is not good for that, you're gonna injure yourself. How did you get around that? Did you keep training anyway? Did you find a doctor that was able to help? How did you resolve that?
Actually, I was not available. Like even I couldn't sleep because I couldn't lay on my back, and all the time I had a hurt. So I couldn't walk, so I didn't train at all.
Wow.
And I did therapy, and it's all the time I was just crying, and you understand what about this, the body. And so you learn from this, you learn how you have to take care about yourself. And I had the other problem, I started not eating, so I had anorexia. And my blood was so low, like they check my blood and they say, you will die soon if you don't eat. So it was all in one moment, this I think psychological. I was lonely. Nobody support me at this time, and it was difficult time.
Actually, I also had anorexia when I was young, and as I went to the hospital, I think I was weighing like 38 kilos or something.
Yeah, me too.
It was like, and they said if you keep this up, you will die.
Yeah, and this sickness is so dangerous because you get more skinny, you want more skinny. And you don't eat, and you don't use food. You think it's like it's killer for your food. It's horrible. It's, to learn to love food, it's too like. I think it's all together psychological. You have to learn it by yourself or by somebody should help you. So I had to.
How old were you when you had the anorexia?
I was 14 years old, and it was in the period when my spine was broken. So it's all together. I think it's psychological, dramatic, and I was really sad. Really, I didn't see my life in the future, so it was a difficult time. Yeah.
But somehow you got through it, and shortly after that you blossomed.
Yeah, I think, lucky people who believe in me or who was take care of me. So my teacher, she saw it that I really down, and she said, I take to my home and I want to see how you eat, how you take care about yourself. And she took me like director of the school. She took me in her place, and 2 weeks and she closed her room and she just put the fish like full of fish, eat. And I'm like, I can't eat it, it's full fish, I can't eat it. I'm hardly half I can make it. And so she like standing in front of me, and she just fish and give me a bottle of, not bottle of wine, just a glass of wine, because my blood was so low. So I needed to get icing on. And I was drinking and trying to eating the fish, and my stomach was painful because you not get used to with the with the food. So with the time, like after 2 weeks, I got already like bigger. I could eat anything. But I still was not happy. If you have an anorexia, I think it's for all life. You always not happy about your body. You always want to be skinnier. Like you see in the mirror, I was already healthy, but I still was not happy about myself. Yeah.
Well, as I also had anorexia when I was younger, I think I'm definitely very aware of how I look, maybe more so than other women, but for you especially, you perform. So people see how you look, thousands of people see how you look, and if you lose weight and if you gain weight, it's also that you're in the public eye that makes it even more difficult. It sounds like your teacher, in some ways, she saved your life, potentially. She really...
Yeah, I'm very thankful for like she opened my mind, and she learned, I think, to love food even. She cooked for me amazingly, and she tried to do with me therapy with my injury, and I felt love from her. So you when you get this love, and you start to believe in yourself. So this was helpful.
When you were living in Donetsk, your parents were not living there. They were still in Kiev, right?
Yeah, I was lonely there. And I think they didn't know about this really, because I didn't want to talk about it. I'm the person who was closed, like in childhood. I think it was my, like, don't say so much what you feel. And I don't know, and that's why it's got this problem, because I'm not really open with my parents was, and they didn't know about this, and my teachers see it, and she helped. So she was like a mother for me.
That's what it sounds like, because your real parents were not living with you. They couldn't be.
Yes.
So she came kind of like a mother and wanted to nurture you a little bit.
Yes. Yeah.
And since then, as a dancer, I mean, I can see you're, very petite, very fit, strong and slender. Is it okay if I ask you about your diet now? Like, do you have to stay at a certain weight to perform? Is it more relaxed? How does it work as a...
I think it's more in my head. It's more about perfect. I know my weight should be like this perfectly, and I'm just play and how I feel. If I feel weaker, I start eating more. About diet, I try and I do my best to eat healthy food. So with the years, I love sweets. So it's like sweets I love and I hate because you love them. So I try to eat healthy food, and I know I eat chocolates or sweets every day, so it's okay with this, but I try to don't do it. I think it's normal for
everyone. The same for me. I call it naughty chocolate.
Yeah, we are human.
It's true. Well, I was looking at your Instagram and I saw this amazing photo of you 7 weeks after you gave birth. The comparison of when you were still pregnant and when you'd given birth. And I was like, oh my God, she looks like she was never pregnant.
I don't know, I was take care about this, because during pregnancy you want to give all the best for the kid, and I try eat healthy and try not eat evening, because evening you swallow and you like try light food like fruits, so I take care about, and I didn't get so big during pregnancy, just the stomach. And after, when I gave birth, even in the hospital, they watched me like, she's like, she was not pregnant too. And I think because of it, because I was keep doing sport, and I was active, and was keep me in shape.
Do you train every day? Do you do ballet dancing? How many days a week do you do it currently?
If I have shows or performing during the week, yes, I'm doing every day. And if I can't manage to come, I'm doing at home, like just on the floor, some exercises, what help for body. Yes, doing every day.
Ballet as a performing art, it's a very, very competitive industry. and you really only become successful if you're one of the 0.00001%. If you had to say that there's some reason that you were really able to flourish as a ballet dancer, what do you think that reason would be? Reasons, you can give more than one.
Like if I'm right, understand that you have to have a luck, you have to be have a talent and right people who would support you, and you understand the way you going right. So it's all together, and then you become someone.
It makes perfect sense. So it's sort of like you need the right constellation, you need the stars to align, you need to have the talent, and you need to work hard, and you need to have the right people to notice your talent and nurture your talent and help you.
Yes, it's true. Here you go.
It makes sense.
Yeah, and of course, to have a luck, it's like 50% of their career.
What advice would you give to somebody who is dreaming of becoming a prima ballerina like you?
I would give, if you have a chance, just don't let it go. Just do your best and to make it the best of it. And you have a chance to show yourself any roles, or even behind the back. You have to show that you want and you give passion and what you to do. And people and teachers, they need to see you once. So this is help, like for the prima ballerina or for any dancers, that you respect your job, you respect people, and it's bring you up.
If people see that you're working hard for it, then they're more likely to want to put energy and time into you.
Yes,
because they can see you're really dedicated.
Yes, you give passion.
And what about your son? So one of them is just a baby, but the older one, is he interested in dancing?
No. He grew up. He was in the studio with us all the time. He was traveling around the world. He was behind stage everywhere, and even like I make a joke, he come to the bar and he trying to repeat what we are doing, but he has no interest. He is not like, it's what I wish to do it. He loves activity. He loves sport, running or ice skating. So it's he don't know what he wants, but he trying. But ballet, no, because he said it's too painful. It's too hard for him. So it's like too much challenges. He wants that it's easy going life. So it's what he has a talent just to go in his way. Yeah.
Berlin is interesting because it has 3 different opera houses where you actually perform. Is it ever confusing, like, oh, is the performance here or there? Is there any confusion, or do you have a favorite place to perform?
I don't have any favorite place. Just the public. I love a different public, and I love in Staatsoper because it's more, you could say, Russian style, more antique, like like a theater, and Deutsche Oper, it's more about West, like a West theater of the old style. I think it's too interesting because how was before in Berlin, like it's history, and a bit simple. It's, I would say, like a cinema. But the public, the energy of the public, and when you get this applause, you get more in Deutsche Oper because you have this acoustic, I don't know, this balloon.
The way the sound moves.
Yeah, sound. And in Staatsoper, it's because of the look. It's beautiful, but you don't get the applause really warm like here in Deutsche Oper. And commercial opera, I have so many memories because we had many show Alice Wonderland.
Alice in Wonderland?
Yeah, Alice Wonderland. We had their shows in commercial opera, and it's just the memory. It's so warm. The kids laughing and so warm, like you could speak with the people because so close. And so it's any theater, and it's like a nice memories.
So you have a unique experience at everyone.
Yeah.
The Staatsballet, it's like being in the Ukraine or being in Russia. The Deutsche Oper is more like the crazy, amazing sound, and commercial opera is more intimate.
Yes, more like cozy.
Can I also ask you to compare Kiev Royal Opera, London Royal Ballet, and Berlin State Opera, or like the three cities, what it's like to perform in each of the three places?
Yeah, it's difficult. It's because people, it's everywhere different and public different. When I'm guesting with Royal, and you feel that I'm guest, and people like just expecting you do something. Maybe you get applause. Here, because I grew up already with 15 years, and public knows me, and they like, you come on stage and they get applause because they are happy to see you. And the Kiev, they just because respect you same, you come on stage and they respect because you become someone in other country very well, so they just respecting you. And it's pleasure everywhere to dance. Everywhere, nice atmosphere, and it's hard to say where's the best dance.
You have a very positive attitude about it, Iana, in that you find the good in every situation. As one of the things I'm noticing from you. You look and you say, oh, I like this about this place, this about this place. Yeah. I learned this from this experience. You're really good at looking at a situation and figuring out what you can learn from it, and also figuring out what the good is in it.
Yes, it's true. You have to like recognize and to learn and to memory and to have this good memory. Not bad.
Do you often get the chance to dance with Marian? Is it sort of like you can help choose which roles you take, and you can say, oh, we'd like to perform this together? Or is it sometimes that you prefer to dance apart? How does it work in your marriage, and both being principal dancers in the same place?
During 15 years, we are changed three director, and was with three director different way of looking at us like a couple, like with Marian. With Vladimir, he wanted like a couple us, and he bring us to give repertoire and give the performing, and we even got a DVD from Nutcracker together. So it's like a family. And when came Nacha Duato, and he saw just us a couple, and we had premieres, and we always danced together. So it was for me like 10 years we was like a couple. And now new director, and he said like, why you need to dance with your husband? I'm like, why? I always dance. So this is, he want to change. So this for 3 years I not so often dance with him, and it makes me a little bit upset because I feel like public wants to see like us family and they support us, but directions, they want that we are separate, going with the other partners to dance, and it's a difficult time now, and we have to accept, and maybe just like hoping maybe we get some the performance in the future, or I ask for like, please can we dance once one leg for all season. So it's yeah, this is time like this.
No, that makes sense. You, after 10 years dancing together, you obviously know each other super well. Also for your children, you can get a babysitter, you can You don't have to work around 2 schedules, you just have to work around 1 schedule.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, I also hope you guys start performing together again.
Thank you. We're hoping to.
What is next for you, Iana? You've had a very long career as a ballerina, and hopefully you'll have another 25 years as a ballerina. What are you planning? What's coming up?
Yeah, I'm planning. I'm really excited, but I don't want to do officially. So I want to make it like later, big premiere. And one project what creating on me and create ballet on me. So this is a project what I'm working for now, and I'm not officially saying. When it's done, then I will say, because it's still process and it's not still, I can't say that. So this is my, I hope, future for 10 years with this project. I could go on.
Oh. Is it a film? Is it a performance?
It's all together.
Wow.
So I will not officially.
Oh, that's really exciting.
Yeah, this is the working process. It just started, it just beginning. So it's hopefully will be in June, will be premiere. So
well, I hope that I can see it.
You will. Yeah. During my pregnancy, I did like a book, maybe if it's interesting.
Oh yeah.
And it will be officially on 21 January, also next week.
Next week your book is coming out.
Yeah, so I did like a little bit short interviews, and now it's all interviews become together, and it's like little books.
Where can I purchase it?
I think it will be like an online book, so you can click in and read it.
And you'll post about it on your Instagram when it's available?
Yes, I will. I post everything all my life.
You have an amazing Instagram.
Yeah, I think it's more like a work, and it's more fun for me, and communicate with the people. It's nice. I love Instagram.
Do you do your Instagram by yourself?
Yes, I do.
It's really, really good.
I try and I see people reaction. I see what people would like to see, and of course I prefer, because I'm the mother, and I try to be not to be naked too much. Yeah, so it's a way of a bit. You have to have the rules. What matter is it?
So you try to balance showing your fans what they want to see, but also respecting what your sons might be comfortable having their mother.
Yes, it's true. Because yesterday my son came and he said, my friend says, he googled your name, and then he went to the Instagram, and everything is saying like, you want to become a YouTuber. About my son, he want to become a YouTuber. Mm-hmm. And he said, like, where did you found this information? So once I was posting about his, like, some stuff, and so his friends, like, check on the Google everything. So I have to take care about what I'm saying, so like, easier, not so much.
It's funny because your son is growing up with parents who are in the public eye.
Yeah.
So some of that also comes to him.
Yes. Yeah, many followers. I'm making his account too. I take care about this, and if he wants, he can take like after time, because after 16 you're allowed to have your own, like he says, like what in school says. So he can be what he wants.
He's got a few more years to go.
To decide what he wants.
Well, I'm sure with you and Marian as parents, for him, he probably has already learned that he has to work hard at something and have a dream, and then he can succeed.
Yes, it's true. Yeah.
Thank you for sitting down with me today, Iana. You're just this beautiful, beautiful person. I'm looking at you and you're like, I can't believe how beautiful you are.
Thank you, thank you.
And like after seeing everything about you dancing, I can't believe I get to see you in person. So thank you for letting me come see you here today at the Deutsche Oper.
Thank you.
Okay.
Pleasure.
Okay, bye.
Bye.